There's no denying that Calgary Flames rookie phenom Dustin Wolf is off to an amazing start and is looking to be the franchise's goalie of the future, but what this one hockey writer just said is quite unbelievable. Wolf is garnering some lofty comparisons, but it might just be justified. Plus, Pospisil has been cold lately, but he knows what he needs to do to get back on track. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and let's talk about this unbelievable comparison. I mean, the thumbnail for this one kind of told the whole story already, but look, Dustin Wolf is amazing. He is everyone's favorite Calgary Flame right now, it pretty much seems. What a story. It's so exciting to have such a good goalie prospect turned into an actual everyday NHL goalie, and a good one at that. But this comparison is a little bit unbelievable. You know, I cannot believe what he just said. Well, let's get into it. Do Flames have another Kiprusoff in their future? It comes from Steve McFarland of the Hockey News. Dustin Wolf's early dominance comes 21 years after the Calgary Flames stole Kiprusoff from the Sharks. What a pickup that was. And now McFarland here already, that's a comparison. Do the Flames have another Kiprusoff in their future? And he's talking about Dustin Wolf. Now, he did go on Twitter to say, because obviously he was getting, you know, the clickbait accusations that all of us get in good time. But he was saying, I'm not trying to compare them. I'm not trying to compare them. Look, this is a comparison. Kiprusoff, Wolf, they're in the same breath right there. But is he that far off? I mean, it's a bold one to say right away, but let's get into the article here. So Dustin Wolf has a long way to go to earn any legitimate comparisons. There you go, legitimate comparisons to Calgary Flames goaltending legend Miikka Kiprusoff. But the fact it has been more than 20 years, I need to go back to school, it's been a while, since the franchise has had this much excitement about the goalie position says a lot. And that is 100% true. The fans are exciting about the goaltending. Yes, the franchise had a brief glimmer of goalie greatness with Jacob Markstrom, who finished second in Vezina voting in 2022 with one of the best ever years by a Flames netminder, but it took a couple of seasons into his Calgary career, and he wasn't able to come close to another before being traded to the New Jersey Devils last summer. So it is true, the Flames have had good goaltending at certain points, and, you know, obviously the key one between Kiprusoff and Wolf is, of course, Jacob Markstrom. You know, certain people had weird, strange good years at some points. There were points where guys like Chad Johnson looked good, Cam Talbot. I'm not a huge Mike Smith guy, but he had his moments. You know, Kari Ramo, Reto Berra, man. Thinking of all those names is just a wild blast to the past. But Wolf definitely is the most exciting one to come along since Kipper. The pandemic also put a damper on Markstrom's time with the Flames, so that nostalgic feeling of a star goalie for the future never really materialized with any consistency. And that's true. Markstrom wasn't necessarily, you know, a guy for the future. He was a guy we were going to hope to get maybe a maximum of 10 years out of, and that obviously didn't come close to happening. So it is a very different feeling. With Wolf, there's a real buzz. Everyone loves an underdog, and the so-called undersized backstop continues to show off his incredible agility and ability to make up for a lack of height with his heart and head. His anticipation of the play, his lightning quick lateral movement, and a Gumby-like flexibility definitely triggers hope. Calgary Flames fans old enough to vividly remember Kipper's run in town. And that's completely true. I love the way that Steve McFarland writes. This is a great article here, even though I can't believe he made the comparison. The Flames snagged a 27-year-old Kipper from the San Jose Sharks on November 14th, 2023, in what was undoubtedly Daryl Sutter's best move in his entire tenure as Calgary's general manager. Kipper went on to take over the starting position and finish the 2003-04 regular season with a 24-10-4 record supported by a .933 save percentage and a 1.70 goals against average. And then he went on to win the Stanley Cup in that wonderful run. The Red Mile is literally right in front of me. I can see it from where I'm sitting right now. And oh baby, we all remember so well when that puck went in Game 6. What a wonderful time. As for Wolf, who was 2 years old when Kiprusoff was traded by the team he grew up cheering for for in Gilroy, California. Sharing the net with Dan Vladar this season hasn't stopped him from shining. Met with Wolf howls from the Calgary crowd after every big save, the 23-year-old Wolf has put together a 6-2-1 record with a .921 save percentage and a .253 goals against average. So not terrible stats compared to those Kipper ones we just looked at if you adjust it in terms of the era. Obviously, scoring is way higher now than it was, the last year before the lockout that really started to change things in terms of scoring. But anyway, back to Wolf. He's coming off his 2 best games of the year with a 3-1 win over the LA Kings and his first NHL shutout in Friday's 2-0 victory over the Nashville Predators that earned the Flames 48 hours off the ice. Yes, the Flames got a nice big break after that big win, after they have had quite the hectic schedule, but now they're home. They get to relax a little bit. I know they were relaxing over the weekend. Obviously, it's Monday now, but it is great to hear, and we are so excited to have Wolf. The comparisons right now, are they that unbelievable? It's a little unbelievable right now, but who knows? We obviously will stay optimistic for the future, and at the end of the day, this was a great article, so never a bad thing to talk well about your goaltending, which it's been a while, so great stuff from Wolfie there. Now let's get into Pospisil and talk about how he is pretty much back on track. He's had a bit of a rough go recently, but things are looking up. Now, if we start with this article here from Wes Gilbertson of the Calgary Herald. So he says, Flames forward Martin Pospisil determined to get back to what makes me my best. And we all know what that is. It's pure aggression. It's lightning quick speed. And it's, producing a point or two and being a bit of an offensive presence, which has been lacking a little bit recently. So let's get a quote from Posby. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always as you want it to go. Pospisil told Post Media as the Flames returned to the Dome for a 4-game homestand. So this was before the Nashville game. Some parts of your career, it's not always perfect. I didn't have it easy before, so I'm just trying to work hard and get it back where I was before. And of course, kind of alluding to where he was last year when he made the most of his call-up from the Wranglers. I've been through lots of crap, and it was way worse, way harder than this. I just have to go out there and play and not worry about anything as I did last year. Of course, there's going to be some good and bad games. You just have to, even if you have a bad shift, just get back to what makes me my best. And that's 100% true. That is what we want to see from Pospisil. But a big thing to keep note of is while he expects more from himself, while he realizes that fans are wondering what happened to the dude who burst on this scene last fall as a wrecking ball rookie, he will also remind that he's been through his share of adversity in the past. So there might be a reason why he's not quite as aggressive. Don't forget, this is a guy who wrestled with whether it was necessary to abandon his NHL dreams, who nearly retired as a minor leaguer due to injury issues. And most of that was obviously to do with his head, and the game he plays does put the body on the line a little bit more. So maybe there's a reason why he's, dialing it back a little bit, especially after that penalty against the Oilers when he was low-key kind of called out by Huska and others for costing them that game. So maybe that's why he's dialing it back a bit, not only to avoid taking penalties, but also for his health. But after Nashville's game, there were some positives. Here's a quote from Huska. I thought he was our best player early on, Huska praised during his post-game presser. He was skating and using his speed. There was one shift where he came all the way back, stripped a guy, and he was deep in our zone and used his speed and ended up below the goal line at the other end. That's what we need out of him. That is prime Jamie Vardy, Leicester City when they won the Premier League. It was around this exact time last year that Pospisil was making the most of an unexpected call-up, emerging as an instant fan favorite with his sports car speed and monster truck mindset. He made a habit of irking the enemies, attracting a snarly crowd faster than a slab of steak at an off-leash park. Wow, the writing in this one is just fantastic. This has been great to read. And it's so funny because the vibes are obviously a little bit down in the city after the first big snowfall. Hopefully everyone, you're driving safe and everything. But either way, great to see that Pospisil knows what he needs to do to get back on track. And there are reasons why maybe he isn't doing quite as well, but we would love to see him produce. But it's always great to hear from the player when they're struggling a little bit and the coach speaking optimistically when this is happening. Good stuff all around in this one. Now let's wrap up the video with the comment of the day as we love to do. And this was, a good perspective that we don't actually often talk about in terms of Montreal having our first round pick this year. And it comes from good old CeeLo. CeeLo said, people need to get over the pick and Habs getting it. Look at the other side. Flames have a ton of cap space and draft capital, etc. We have options and it's exciting. And that is a good way to look at it. I mean, we always talk about how it's going to suck. Well, if the Flames do end up giving that first round pick to Montreal, that doesn't, I mean, it's not amazing, obviously, but there are other options. It's great to stay optimistic. That's what we've always prided ourselves on this channel. So obviously there are other options with the cap space, with, you know, a plethora of picks as well. So it is great to see draft capital, of course, as CeeLo said here, but things aren't looking too bad. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like we saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.